There is another image of the lichen growing on the bush. It is a parasitic plant, but it seems to be doing quite well, but the tree seems to be all right as well. So could be a symbiotic relationship. I don't know. Bed of primroses, they have really come out today because of the sun. And you can see they're yellow as far as the eye can see. They like to have drained soil. So the soil is drained here, it drains into the pond, and they seem to be doing really well, thriving this year. It's the best I've seen any year. An interesting thing that the wood did for itself, that is a path that was used by bikers and really causing problems. And so there was wind and there was rain, and a huge oak tree fell down and it has blocked the path. So yes, you can clamber over it, but if you were on your bike and you wanted, it would be harder. Can be done, of course, but it's harder. But again, here you see the primroses, they are all out. The pond is full, so we should be all right for water, but depends. We have no rain forecast that I can see in this patch of Kent for a while. Another view of the lake, which will be different in March, April, May, June, the whole of the years, all the months of the year, it will be different. But at this moment in time, that all the leaves are just coming out, so they are light lime green, and there's a lovely patch of primroses on the other side of the bank. Another view of the two oak trees that fell down, random effect of rain, wind, and blocked the path. And so the primroses now have been able to grow, really grow. And as you can see, this is just a carpet of primroses, and I mean a carpet. And then as far as the eye can see, you can see nothing but primroses. Where the trees are growing, there are no primroses because they need light, because some trees were cut down around the pond to improve the sunlight, and that has rewarded us by having these lovely, lovely primroses really going to town today. The violets are also blooming. They're not as prolific as the primroses. The primroses definitely have cornered the spot. There are a few violets in between the primroses. That's area which it was knocked down, but here you can see the primroses as far as the eye can see. But where there are trees, it obviously reduces the number of trees, number of primroses. Another view of the primroses along the path, because the bikes are not easily able to cross the two trees, and they are able to grow unhindered. And they're just absolutely amazing. Because the sun is shining, all their faces are pointing to the west at this moment in time. And you can see them all over. And then you can also see them, if I can show you just the pond. Again, under the trees, there aren't that many. But where there is sunlight, you can see how many primroses there are. So this is Kent in April. Here's another view of the primroses again. The sun's come out, so they have responded by really opening up. Amazing. It's April, but some of the bluebells have already opened up. And there they are. I'll do a nice little close-up of a bluebell. They're not completely open, but they are indeed, there they are, bluebells. And this will be in 2-3 weeks time, a bed of bluebells under the trees before the leaves come out. This is still April, so the bluebells have come out, some of them, and they are still blue, though in few weeks time we'll have bluebells that are white and pink, but at this moment they are all blue, shades of blue and slight pink. So this is the normal color of bluebells, but already you can see the color. There we are. So these are blue bells, and in between the bluebell patch there are primroses. These are this year's primroses, a couple of years growth. They're single plants. They haven't grown into clumps. It will be interesting to see next year if these have grown into clumps. But the bluebells seem to have the upper hand here. But the primroses are trying to find their own niche in here, but which is very interesting. There were just a few primroses along the path, but this year there are no primroses along the path, or hardly there are any. But they are marching in to the bluebell field, which is interesting. So they have found themselves a little niche, and they are growing there, here as well. But these are all single, so they're all young ones. Last year was very dry, so it could be that the seeds have managed to germinate in a dry patch. The path with the bluebells along here, just a few bluebells, but loads. But on this side there are more bluebells. On that side there is a huge patch of blackberries and a few primroses along the path. The pond is full at the moment, and there is no rain forecast in this part of Kent for a while. So it is a bit worrying that the soil is very, very, very dry already and has compacted hard. So let's hope that we don't have too dry a summer, because this much water will not be enough to last till September, October. We need a bit more rain. There is evaporation obviously, and little bit of loss, though it is a clay soil here, but still this will last us two months or so, and then we shall be out of water if we don't have rain. Here is a wood pile which has disintegrated, or to half its height. It was double the height, but it is an excellent habitat for invertebrates and small mammals and small birds. But I think it needs topping up urgently to help it to sort of keep going. Here is a patch of woodland that has been left to itself. So this is what is called unfavorable, because all we have are tall trees and lots of bracken on the bottom. But if these could be thinned out, then there will be a variety of plants and fungi that could make a niche and grow here. So this is unfavorable woodland. Here is more bracken, and it's a lovely afternoon in April. Somebody is flying an aeroplane. Here is a wood anemone. It's bright and it is open. It's absolutely snow white, so almost reflecting all the sunlight. It is growing along the path. It has these interesting looking leaves. There are loads of them, so we shall have loads of wood anemones, or milkmaids as the locals call them. There's a nice patch of wood anemones all facing west, where the sun is coming from, and they have found themselves a little niche amongst the bracken. Once the bracken grows, they will then die off, but at this moment in time they are all facing the west with their little heads, and these are the milkmaids or wood anemones, pure brilliant white with just a little yellow stamen in the middle. Absolutely beautiful. Here is a lovely big patch of wood anemones in between the trees and the bracken. So there are no leaves at all on the trees. So that's why these plants and flowers can flourish. And must remember that this is the only planet we know, habitable planet. If we don't look after it, we won't have this in 30, 40 years' time if we keep building. We must remember that the houses that we are building should be for the people who live here. What I have found is that houses are being sold, but they are being sold to people from abroad who want to have a second house in the United Kingdom in the countryside. Here's another patch of wood anemones looking at the sun and growing beautifully at this time because the winter has been good. There was enough snow to kill off the bugs as well as lots of rain. Now we have had a dry patch. No rain is forecast for the next week. Let us see. Hope this is not the beginning of the drought summer. This is another big patch of wood anemones. They are all wide open now, but as soon as the sun goes, they will close them. And all you see are little pinpricks of white. They are actually on the back. If you look carefully, I will take one out. That's what they're like on the back. There they are, all of them. They look like stars have come down from the sky. Absolutely amazing. There they are. Here's another patch, a dense patch of wood anemones. All seem to be about the same age, so they're the same size. And they're all pointing west. And soon when the sun will set, they will close their heads and there'll be nothing to see. This little patch is growing well here, in between the bracken. Once the bracken comes through, it will be nearly 6 feet tall, and these will then die back. The patch cut in 2009 to make space for the butterflies and the insects. It has now overgrown and needs to be cut down back to that. But the wood anemones fortunately have a space to grow, so they have opened up here. So we really do need to come back. It's a little bit of work to take out the trees that have grown. As you can see, this one, small one, but it will soon have leaves, and then the place for the butterflies and the insects to fly would be reduced. Nice big patch of wood anemones, and they have found themselves a nice niche here. Again, the bracken is dead at the moment, but it will soon grow. It grows visibly when it starts to grow. So here they are with the sun streaming in and all the wood anemones showing their little faces to the sun. But very soon they'll all close their heads. The carpet of wood anemones, and literally is a carpet. And if you look at it towards dusk, it looks like the stars have come down to earth. Here is a single wood anemone growing. So this will last longer because these are just leaves here at the moment. Very distinctive leaves. Here is a carpet of wood anemones. There are not many bluebells here, so the wood anemones have taken over completely. There are no bluebells in this part of the wood, and so all you hear all you can see are just wood anemones. Nothing in between, just a few old clumps of primroses. So these are older because you can see they have grown. When they are new, there's only one little flower, but these are several years worth of flowers. But all you can see is just a carpet of stars, white stars in a background of green. And no bluebells in this part of the wood at all. So obviously they don't like this soil. But the wood anemones have taken over completely. Here is a nice old bridge which needs maintenance now and then, but this is the work that needs to be done. The rainwater has brought down all the little twigs and blocked the entrance, so that's the next job to be done. It's best to do it while it is still damp, then it is easy to remove it, otherwise it becomes solid. So that is one of the jobs that must be done perhaps in April before the soil hardens. There is still water in this stream. It's not flowing very well because it's blocked, but there is still water to drink. Here is another patch of the wood, which is beautiful. Now the sun is going to set soon, so these will all close their eyes, their heads. But now the sun is beginning to set, so the wood anemones are beginning to close. And this is just nothing but wood anemones. There are no bluebells here, just wood anemones, nothing else. All the leaves are these special interesting leaves that I can show you here. Yes, there's a wood anemone leaves, and there's the carpet of just this. There's nothing else growing apart from moss. And soon they will be gone because the sun will go down. Here is another part of the wood. Again, there are no bluebells here at the moment. They may come through later because the bluebell lasts a long time, and so do the wood anemones. So they come through at different times of the year. Well, no, sorry, wrong. They come through slowly in sequence. But these are all the ones that are here today. And as you can see, they're just nothing but wood anemones. A carpet all the way around, a carpet of wood anemones with a very slight scent. Yes. So here is another version of the same amazing spectacle, with the wood anemones all pointing towards the sun, and there's the path, and here are more and more wood anemones. Here's another patch with the sun streaming in, and all the little wood anemones are awake and facing the sun. In between the wood anemone bed is a nice clump of primroses. Nice big clump. So this is quite an old clump. Here is another carpet of wood anemones, and they are everywhere, absolutely everywhere. Here's another patch where they are just all really clustered, all open, all facing the same way, and all absolutely amazingly beautiful. Dappled sunshine with the trees without any leaves, and this carpet of stars on the ground. And it is a carpet of stars. There's no doubt about that. A beautiful carpet of stars. Here is another dense patch of milkmaids, which is a local name for wood anemones, and loads and loads and loads of them. This is the densest patch of wood anemones I have seen anywhere today, and they are, I would say, overlapping. They are not just 1 centimeter apart, they are overlapping in this part of the wood. So obviously they're getting a lot of sunlight. They are all overlapping here. But this patch that I just showed you is the most, it's literally overlapping. Amazing. Here's another patch of wood anemones. This is just along the path. The sunlight streaming in, so they are getting all the light they want. And again, this is not as dense, but it's still pretty dense patch of anemones. And here are some more wood anemones. This is on either side of the path. Loads and loads and loads of anemones. So the wood anemones are on that side of the path.